Hello, hello. Happy Meal Plan Monday. I am Stephanie Dreyer, a plant-based meal planning expert and the founder of StephanieDreyer.com, where I help busy parents bring more ease to their meal planning and meal prep and meal times in general with their families. And I'm here every Monday at noon Pacific Standard Time, sharing anything and everything about meal planning, meal prep, topics, recipes, just to help you out and bring more ease to your meal time. So today, happy December. I can't believe it's the second day of December. We are talking about holiday potlucks. I should also mention I have a mixed family of vegans, me, a vegetarian, my oldest, and then omnivores. So I have been on a journey for over 10 years. My oldest is 16, my youngest is 10. And we've had to navigate different dietary needs and food preferences in my family. And as the primary meal planner, cook, grocery shopper in the family, I have come around and around to try to answer that question of what's for dinner. So many times I've been there, I've done that, and I've tried to simplify it. So that's what I aim to do in every one of these Meal Plan Mondays, is to give you some tips and ideas to simplify your own meal prep. So we are diving in to, and excuse all, it's real life people, my dog and my phone are going off. We are talking about, and if you have questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below. I'll try to my best to scroll through them as I'm going through my topic today. So it's December and holiday season, and I know I have a bunch of potlucks and parties already lined up that I know that I'm going to be attending and hosting and all of that. But potlucks, when you're going somewhere as maybe one of the only plant-based people in the group, I am there, that is me, I'm the only one in my social circle, it can be kind of tough. So before I dive into some ideas for what to bring, I want to give you a few tips about how to navigate that, like how, that feeling of like, is there going to be anything there for me to eat? Am I going to stick out like the vegan and people are going to be asking me 20 million questions about where do I get my protein? I've totally been there. And so I wanted to give you a few tips. So the first thing is eat a little something before you leave, because from my experience, there probably won't be a ton to eat. There will definitely be a vegetable tray probably, but there might not be a dip that you can eat. So I always try to eat a little something before I go, just so I'm not starving. And then if there's not a lot at the event, I can always come home and eat something. My second tip is to obviously you're going to be bringing something, but if it's a potluck, if it's not a potluck, I would ask the hostess or host if there is something that you can bring to contribute to the meal or the party. And so I like to always bring to a potluck some type of appetizer that I can snack and graze on throughout the party, but then also something a little heartier that I know will satiate me if there's nothing else to eat. So some type of salad is usually my go-to that has like a quinoa or a chickpea in it, or a bean that has some protein, extra protein punch in it. That's my go-to. And then as far as like navigating what to eat, I just try to stay to the safe things that I can tell what the ingredients are. Having to track down at a potluck who brought what to ask them, do you know what's in this? Do you know what's in that? It can get a little overwhelming, can get a little annoying to other people. So I just try to keep to things that I know are vegan, vegetables, dips, things like that. And then obviously if you know the people who brought a dish and can kind of navigate maybe one or two dishes to ask, hey, all the power to you if you can go and ask, if you want to ask, through every meal, or every dish, but I just feel like that gets a little overwhelming for everybody. So, okay. Let's dive into potluck dishes. So in general, these are a few tips, but I have a few specific plant-based tips in here if you're bringing a plant-based dish. And if you're new to plant-based foods, feel free to ask me your comments. I've been talking with a lot of people who are just starting on their vegan journey, and I hope that this will be helpful for you. And I'm actually going to link to specific recipes over at my blog at StephanieDreyer.com later today, so you can go there and actually get specific recipes for some of these meal ideas I'm going to give you. So first of all, the best potluck dishes are the ones that don't require reheating or keeping hot. You want to be able to bring something that is easy, that travels well and requires minimum assembly when you get there and doesn't require reheating. Unless you have a sterno that you're bringing and you have your whole setup and it's easy for you, that's just so much work, and it's, taxing on the host or hostess as well. So no reheating. The best dishes I find to bring are those that are easy to eat while walking around and talking, and usually holding a plate of food or a drink in your hand. So handhelds are really easy. Also, the best dishes don't use obscure ingredients that people might be afraid to try because they don't know what it is or they haven't had it before. So then that goes along with, it uses familiar ingredients. This isn't the time to like break out the faux meats and cheeses. This would be stick to whole foods, plant-based meals that really just use regular ingredients that no one's going to be like wondering what that is. And then the last tip is, the best dishes are showstoppers. They're visually appealing. They look great. Obviously, they've got to taste great, but they're going to be visually appealing as well. So I have a few ideas for you, things that I would recommend. So there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 categories, and I've got about 3 or 4 recipes that I'm going to highlight for each of these ideas. The first one are salads, and I'm not just talking green salads. Protein, like I said, with the quinoa and the chickpeas, also pasta salads. Sweets and treats are always a great thing to bring. People will not be able to believe that it's vegan. An amazing dip or spread is a great conversation starter. You can serve it with tasty dippers, easy again for you to have something to graze on. And then a hummus platter with like pita chips and vegetables always looks beautiful. So that is a great thing to use it to bring as well. Handhelds, such as, I've got a couple ideas for you, wraps and roll-ups. My vegan deviled potatoes on my website is a great one. Easy, it's a potato. No one can ever believe it's vegan. It looks like deviled eggs, but it's a deviled little baby potato. Garlic stuffed olives is another great one. Okay, so I kind of went through dips and handhelds. How are we doing on time? I'm going to go back up to salads. So I mentioned like quinoa salads, herb chickpea. One of my go-tos for potlucks is by Cooking Kate. She has a herbed quinoa and chickpea salad with a lemon tahini dressing. And it looks beautiful, and it is always a winner whenever I take it. And I take my cues for salads for this time of year, for using the produce obviously of the season, but also using the colors of the season. So reds and greens. So like I like doing Brussels sprouts and pomegranate seeds in a salad. I have a recipe for that. There's also one at Blissful Basil I'm going to link to in my blog as well. And then everyone loves Caesar salads. So hey Gail, thanks for joining. I'm just going over potluck pleasers here for the holiday parties. So everybody loves a Caesar salad. So that's one of my recommendations as well, because as plant-based eaters, we're not always sure that the Caesar is vegan, but that is a great thing to bring that people will love and you will love. So that's another one of my suggestions. Again, I'm going to link to all these over at my website at stephaniedryer.com if you want to get the info on that. And then sweets and treats. So cookies, of course. This is the season of holiday cookies, so I highly recommend that. There is a chocolate chip cookie that I get rave reviews about all the time by Isa Shanra Moskowitz from Punk Kitchen. So I'm going to link to that one at my website. But then also I wanted to point out holiday bark is a great sweet treat to bring, as well as donuts. And treats as another thing that I would also recommend. If you're a big sweet person, you're going to a potluck and you are worried there's not going to be anything to eat. There usually is not for vegans. There's usually not vegan stuff. So that's another thing that I recommend bringing if you're really into sweets and you want to have a sweet treat to nosh on while you're talking and mingling with your cocktail. Make that the thing that you're going to bring to the potluck. So basically, I'm going to just kind of recap. Again, I'm going to go through all this over at my website, stephaniedryer.com, so that you can link to the website or to the recipes. But the key to getting through a potluck, if you're the only plant-based eater, is to bring something delicious that you know you're going to love and other people will love because it's familiar, it looks great, it doesn't use weird ingredients, it's easy to travel, it's easy to assemble when you get there. And it's something that's going to make sure you're well fed and satiated. So that might mean that you bring 2 or 3 things instead of 1 thing, but your hostess will be so grateful and you will be well fed and happy. So that's my take on holiday potluck pleasers. I hope this was helpful. If you want more info on and help on plant-based eating, I have a free ultimate guide to plant-based meal planning that I'm giving away. You can just go to bit.ly/plant-based guide, and I'll put this in the notes as well. And you can get some more recipes and links to my resource library that I have there. And I'm going to be back next Monday. I'm here, like I said, every Monday for Meal Plan Monday at noon Pacific Standard Time. Next Monday, December 9th, we are talking about one of my favorite stores, Trader Joe's, and we're going to be looking at holiday hacks using Trader Joe's products to do some really easy and delicious meals. Talking about Trader Joe's is one of my favorite things to do. I have a few articles and videos about Trader Joe's food hacks and turning their like salads and just all sorts of easy ingredients into these meals you wouldn't even think. So we're going to do that for the holidays, and I hope that will help you with some of your meal prep and planning as you're doing your meals and your parties for the season. So thank you everybody for watching. If you want to join me on Friday, this Friday on Instagram at noon, I'm there every week as well, sharing my meal plan. I come to you usually right after I get back from the grocery store, and I share my meal plan for the week along with what I'm cooking for my family. So if you want to check that out, join me at Instagram at VegMama, my same handle here. And I really appreciate you watching. Please share the video if you think it would help someone, and I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Happy December. Bye.